press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello students, so welcome to the NEET and G class for revision part 7. So today I am going to discuss some questions on the topic solids and solutions. So this is the second set of papers. So in this set of paper, the first question is, so purely the questions based on solids and solutions from question number 1 to 30. So first question, number of carbon atoms per unit cell of diamond unit cell is? Number of carbon atoms present in a unit cell of diamond. So the structure of diamond, so it has very similar to, so diamond has similar to zinc sulfide structure. So we know that zinc sulfide has tetrahedral structure. So in this structure, number of particles at corner is equal to, so 1 by 8 into 8 is equal to 1. So number of corner particles multiplied by its contribution. Corner particles 8, its contribution is 1 by 8. So we get 1 particle. So particles at the corner. Then at the face center, so it is equal to half into 6, number of particles 6 multiplied by contribution of each face centered particle is half, it is equal to 3. So total 4 particles, so it is equal to 1 plus 3, 4 particles. So it has a tetrahedral structure. Zinc sulfide has tetrahedral in close packed structures. So that is why each zinc ion, zinc ion occupies the tetrahedral sites, 4 tetrahedral sites. The remaining sulfide ions occupies another tetrahedral site. So that is why this total number of particles is equal to, so 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. Hence, in case of diamond also, there are 8 carbon atoms per unit cell in case of diamond. Is clear? Zinc sulfide, it has a tetrahedral structure in FCC. So that is why, so the number of particles 4. So at the corners, 1 particle means number of carbon particles 8 multiplied by its contribution is 1 by 8, it is equal to 1. Then the number of face centered particles is equal to 6 multiplied by contribution of each face centered particle is half, that is equal to 3. Total, so 4 particles. So since there are 4 particles, there are 4 octahedral voids and 8 tetrahedral voids. So zinc ion, so 4 zinc ions occupies in 4 tetrahedral sites, and another sulfide ions it occupies another tetrahedral sites. That is why it has a tetrahedral structure. But in case of some close packed structures, so tetrahedral in close packed structures, some particles occupies the tetrahedral voids and some particles occupies the octahedral voids. But in this case, that is not possible. So the structure of diamond is similar to the structure of zinc sulfide. So in zinc sulfide, totally there are 8 particles. Hence, in case of diamond also, 8 particles. So each particle is surrounded by 4 other particles. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ zinc 4 tetrahedral voids occupied, ಇನ್ನು 4ರಲ್ಲಿ sulfide ion ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದೇ ತರ in case of diamond also, totally there are 8 particles. Hence, so for the first question, option 1 is the right option. Next question number 2. Second question. A metal has FCC lattice. Edge length of the unit cell is 404 picometer. Density of the metal is 2.72 gram per cubic centimeter. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 2.72 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್ ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್. Molar mass of metal is, Avogadro number value is given. So what is the molar mass? So we know the formula is density is equal to Zm by Na into A cube. So or M is equal to, so here molar mass of the metal can be calculated, atomic mass of metal can be calculated. M is equal to Na into A cube into D divided by Z. So M is equal to D into Na into A cube divided by Z. So density is given. What is the density of given substance? 2.72 multiplied by Avogadro number. So approximately 6 into 10 to the power of 23. ನಾನು ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸ್ 6.02 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. 6 into 10 power 23. Then A cube. So edge length is given 404 picometer. So that can be converted into, so density is gram per cubic centimeter. So that is why it is also converted into cubic centimeter. So 4.04 into 10 to the power of 4.04 into 10 to the power of. So M is equal to D into Na into A cube divided by Z. Density is 2.72 gram per cubic centimeter. 6 into 10 to the power of 23, it is the value of Avogadro number. Edge length 404 picometer. So 404 picometer, this is equal to 4.04 into 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeter. So ಇದನ್ನು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ ಇದನ್ನು. So this is equal to, or this is multiplied by, so M, so here A is 4.04 into 10 to the power of minus 8 to the power 3 whole divided by the value of Z in FCC, number of particles is equal to 4. Then it is equal to, so 2.7 approximately into 6 into 10 to the power of 23. So here 10 to the power of minus 8 to the power 3 means 10 power minus 24. 10 power minus 24. 10 power minus 24, 10 power 23, it becomes 10 power minus 1. Then approximately is equal to 4 cube. 4 cube means 64. 64 into 10 power minus 1 means 6.4. It is equal to 6.4 divided by 4. So 4, so 16 times 64, it is equal to 1.6 times. So 1.6 times. 1.6 into 6 is 2.7 into 1.6 into 6 is 9.6. It is approximately, so 2.7 into 10. So 2.7 into 10, it is equal to 27. So your answer is 27. 27 gram per mole. Option 3 is the right option. So third option is correct option. Is it clear? So look here, 404 picometer. Pica means 10 to the power of minus 12. So ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. 10 power minus 12 meter. 4.04 into 10 power 2 ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. So 10 power minus 8 till centimeter ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Is it clear? So that is why. So your option is third option. 27 gram per mole. Next question. Question number 3. Question number 3. Vacant space in BCC lattice unit cell is percentage of occupied space. Percentage of occupied space in BCC. This is equal to 64. Percentage of occupancy in BCC 64. Therefore, percentage of void or vacancy. Percentage of vacancy is equal to 100 minus 64. It is equal to 36. 36. Sorry, so 62%, I think. So 62 So total space is occupied by the particles in this case is 68%, 64% minus 100 minus 34. So it is, 64 is equal to 36. So nearest value is 32%. 68% actually ಇದು ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 64 ಅಲ್ಲ 68 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ 68 and remaining 32%. Percentage of space filled by the particles in case of BC is only 2 particles. So 2 particles which occupies 68%. This is the percentage of occupancy. Then the remaining vacant space, percentage of void is 100 minus 68, that is equal to 32. So 32 is the right answer. So option 2 is the right answer. Second option is the correct option. Next question number 4. If the length of the side of a cube, the distance between the body centered atom and one corner atom in the cube will be. In case of BCC, A is the length of the side of cube. Distance between the body centered atom and one corner atom in the cube will be. Note observe madale. In case of BCC. So look at the structure of BCC. So there is one more particle. So look here. So this is one corner particle. This is also the corner particle. This is the body centered particle. Is clear? So here, this is called the body diagonal. This length is, so we know that R is equal to root 3 into A divided by 4. So radius of an atom in case of BCC is root 3 into A by 4. But there are 4 radii. So 4R is equal to root 3 into A. So 4R is, this is the body diagonal. Is it clear? The body diagonal is 4R. 4R is equal to root 3 into A. So, but I want the distance between this body centered particle and one of the corner particle. This is. So this distance I want. So this distance is root 3A. So what is the distance between this body centered particle and any one of the corner particle? So therefore this is equal to 2R. So 4R is equal to root 3 into A. So 4R is root 3A. So therefore 2R is equal to root 3 into A by 2. Root 3 into A by 2. So ನೋಡಿ 2 into 4, 4R is equal to root 3 into A. So 2R value, this is the distance between the body centered particle and one of the corner particle. ನೀವು ಇದಾದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಇದಾದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ. So that is why your answer is root 3 into A by 2. So third option is the right option. Third option is the right option. Is it clear? So body diagonal is 4R is equal to root 3 into A. But the question is distance between the body centered particle and the center of any one of the corner particle. So this is total body diagonal is 4R. 4R is equal to root 3 into A. Hence half of this value. So 2R is equal to root 3 into A by 2. So this is your answer. Next question number 5. A is not equal to B, B is not equal to C. These are the 3 edge lenses. Alpha, gamma is 90 degree and beta is not equal to 90 degree. ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಸಲ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಮೋನೋಕ್ಲಿನಿಕ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. So comes under monoclinic system. So therefore for the question number 5, So third option is the right option. Third option is the right option. Is it clear? Next, question number 6. Question number 6. Number of atoms contained in FCC cell of monoatomic substance is. So in case of FCC, number of particles per unit cell. So number of particles per unit cell is equal to, in case of FCC, there are two types of particles. So one is the corner particle and other one is body centered particle. So there are 8 corner particles. That is why 8 into 1 by 8 plus number of face centered particles 6 and contribution of each face centered particle is half. Therefore 8 into 1 by 8 is 1 plus 3, it is equal to 4. So number of particles per unit cell is 4. Hence your option is third option. So third option is the right option. So for the question number 6, third option is right. Is clear? So BCC ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ 2 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ, FCC 4 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So is clear? So ಜ್ಞಾಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. Next, question number 7. Question number 7. Lithium has BCC structure. Its density is 530 kg per cubic meter and its atomic mass is 6.94 gram per mole. Calculate the edge length of the unit cell of lithium metal. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ edge length ಕೇಳಿದರೆ A. So how do you calculate the value of A? Edge length. So the formula is density D is equal to Zm by Na into A cube. But I want the value of A. So that is why A cube is equal to Zm by Na into D. So first A cube calculate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಈ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಬರೋಣ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ Z? Number of particles per unit cell. Lithium has BCC structure. Z value is 2. Then M. So M is the atomic mass. So atomic mass of lithium is given 6.94. So ನಾನು approximately 7 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. 6.94 is equal to 7. Divided by, so Avogadro number is 6 into 10 to the power of 23. 6 into 10 to the power 23. Into density is 530 kg per cubic meter. So but gram per mole, atomic mass is gram per mole. So that is why it is taken in terms of, density is taken in terms of gram per cubic centimeter. So 0.53 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, 0.53 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಯಾಕೀಗೆ 0.53? ಸೊ 530 kg per cubic meter. So 530 into 10 to the power of 3 gram. So per cubic meter means 10 to the power of minus 6 per cubic centimeter. So therefore 10 power 3, 10 power minus 6 is 10 power minus 3 into 530 means 0.53 gram per cubic centimeter. So ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 cubic meter is equal to 10 to the power of 6 cubic centimeter. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ per cubic meter is equal to 10 power minus 6 cubic centimeter ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so 1 cubic meter is 1 meter into 1 meter into 1 meter. So 1 meter is 100 centimeter. Is clear? So 1 cubic meter is 100 into 100 into 100 means 10 to the power of 6 cubic centimeter. Is clear? So this is the value of 1 cubic meter is 10 to the power of 6 cubic centimeter. So but I want the value of per cubic meter. So per cubic meter is equal to, so per cubic meter is equal to 10 to the power of minus 6 per cubic centimeter. So ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ 530 kg per cubic meter. It is nothing but 0.53 gram per cubic centimeter. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ಲ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಡನ್. A cube is equal to, so A cube is equal to ಸೊ 0.5 ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ 0.5 ಅನ್ನು 1/2 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ತಗೋಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ 1/2. ಸೊ 1/2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ನ್ಯೂಮರೇಟರ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ ನಾನು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ 2 into 7 into 2. ಸೊ 2 into 7 into 2 divided by 6 into 10 to the power of 23, 10 power 23, it is equal to 7 into 2, 14 into 2, 28. So 28 by 6 into 10 to the power of minus 20 is 3. Is clear? Then 28 by 6 means, so a cube is equal to, so 4.7 into 10 to the power of minus 23, or it is also equal to 47 into 10 to the power of minus 24. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಎ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್, ನೋಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 into 10 to the power of minus 24, it is equal to, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 ನಾನು ಹಾಗೆ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ಇಂಟು, ಸೊ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 10 to the power of minus 24 means 10 to the power of minus 8. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಏಟ್ಸ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇನ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47? ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಎ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47. ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ 3, ಈಗ 27 ತಗೊಂಡ್ರ, 27 ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 27 is 3. ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 27 is 3. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 64 is 4. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 that lies between ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 27 and 64, ಅವೆರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 27 3 ಇದೆ, 64ಗೆ 4 ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3 to 4 times that of 10 to the power of minus 8 centimeter, or it is equal to 3 to 4 into 10 to the power of minus 10 centimeter. But answer is given in terms of picometer. ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಈ picometer ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು. ಸೊ 3 to 4 ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನಾನು, ಸೊ ಎ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 3 to 4 ಬದಲಾಗಿ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸೊ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಿಫಿಕ್ಸ್, ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಪೈಕಾ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 10 to the power of minus 12, ಅಂದರೆ 10 power minus 12 ಬೇಕು ನನಗೀಗ. ಸೊ 10 power minus 12 ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿಲಿ, 3 to 4 times that of 10 power 2 into 10 to the power of minus 12 centimeter. So here there is no change in the value. 10 power minus 12, 10 power 2 means 10 to the power of minus 10 as it is. Then, so 3 to 4 times that of 100 andre A is equal to 300 to 400 picometer. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 10 power minus 12 ಬದಲಾಗಿ ಪೈಕಾ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇವರ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಲೈಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 300 to 400 picometer, ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 300 and 400. ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 3. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 7, ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 3 ಇಸ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ನೋಡಿ 352 picometer. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು, ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಈಗ 3ಗೆ 27 ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ 3 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 64 ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 64 ಈಸ್ 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಲೈಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 27 and 64, ಇವೆರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವಾಗ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಿರಲಿ, ಸೊ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ 47 ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ 3 to 4, ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 3 to 4 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ 3 to 4 into 10 power minus 8 centimeter. ನಾನು ಮೀಟರ್ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಂಟಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ 10 power minus 2. 10 power minus 2, 10 power minus 8 means 10 to the power of minus 10. So I want the pica. So pica means 10 to the power of minus 12. So that is why it is multiplied by 10 power minus 12 multiplied by 100. It is equal to 10 power minus 10. There is no change in its value. Then 3 into 100, 300, 4 into 100, 400. So answer is 300 to 400. 10 power minus 12 means picometer. So answer lies between 300 and 400. ಸೊ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 3, 352 ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 7. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 8. Question number 8. Ionic radii of A plus means cation, and B minus ions are 0.98 into 10 power minus 10 meter and 1.81 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. The coordination number of each ion in AB is. So what is its coordination number? So we know that ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ರೇಷೋ. ಸೊ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ರೇಷೋ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ರೇಷೋ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಯಾನ್ ಟು ದಿ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನಯಾನ್. ಸೊ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ರೇಷೋ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ದ ರೇಷೋ ಆಫ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಯಾನ್ ಟು ದಿ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆನಯಾನ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ರೇಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಯಾನ್? 0.98 into 10 power minus 10. 0.98 into 10 to the power of minus 10 divided by 1.81 into 10 to the power of minus 10. So here cancel ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. So radius ratio is equal to, so this is equal to 98 into 10 to the power of minus 2 divided by, so nearly equal to 2. So R it is taken as, so 98 by 2 means 49. So 49 into 10 power minus 2, 0.49. 0.49. So this is value of radius ratio. So we know that if the radius ratio lies between 0.4142 to 0.732, so coordination number is equal to 6. So by the application of radius ratio values, is clear? If the radius ratio lies between 0.414 to 0.732, coordination number 6. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಂದಿದೆ? 0.49 ಬಂದಿದೆ. 0.49 ಸೊ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೇಂಜ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 8, ಸೊ ದಿ ಕೋರ್ಡಿನೇಷನ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಸ್ 6. ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 8, ಸೊ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ 2. Second option is the right option. Second option is the right option. Is clear? Next question number 9. Question number 9. 8:8 type of packing is present in. So 8:8 means coordination number 8 ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಅದು 8:8 packing ಅಂದ್ರೆ coordination number. Each particle is surrounded by how many number of other particles? So 8:8 meaning ನೋಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಅಯಾನಿಕ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾವೆ. Each cation is surrounded by 8 anion. 8 anions. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ 8 each anion is surrounded by 8 cations. 8:8. So coordinate. So here cesium chloride comes under this type. So it comes under BCC. So in BCC coordination number is 8. It means that each cesium ion, it is surrounded by 8 chloride ions, and each chloride ion is surrounded by 8 cesium ion. So therefore coordination number with respect to cesium ion is 8 and coordination number with respect to chloride ion is 8. So therefore it comes under 8:8 type. That is purely in case of BCC, that is cesium chloride. Hence for the question number 2, second option is the right option. Next question number 10. Question number 10. An example of Frankel defect is. So Frankel defect can be observed only when this can be observed in case of the size of anions and anions, size of cations and anions. there will be a large difference in their sizes. Then only Frankel defect can be observed. So in the given options, Na plus and Br minus almost same size. So that is comes under a Schottky defect. So if the size of difference in the size of cations and anions, if it is very large, then it is comes under Frankel defect. But in case of Schottky defect, if size of cation is same as that of the size of anion, that is comes under Schottky defect. But an example of Frankel defect is silver bromide, AzBr. So reason is size of Az plus. So it is much differ in the size of much differ than the size of Br minus ion. Nodi eradu kuda difference in their ionic size will be large. That is why AzBr it is comes under Frankel defect. So answer 3. So question number 10, third option is the right option. Next question number 11. Question number 11. The white zinc oxide turns yellow on heating because of. When zinc oxide is heated to form Zn plus 2 plus half O2 plus 2 electrons. So in the crystal lattice, so it is just like, so assuming that A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus is like this. So here B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus. So again A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus. Assuming that this is one ideal crystal structure. Nodi idu interaction higide anta assumption madkodi. So the space between these kind of ions is the interstitial site. Is it clear? Nodi. So this is the interstitial site. When zinc oxide is heated, it turns yellow color. So why it turns yellow color? So on heating, it gives zinc oxide and electrons. So zinc oxide, it occupies the interstitial site. And at the same time, in the adjacent interstitial sites, electrons are occupied. It is nothing but, it is just like nothing but F centers. But now sodium chloride ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ F centers ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, so anion vacancy create ಆದಾಗ ಆ anion vacancy ಅಲ್ಲಿ electron occupy ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. That is F center. But it is not F center, like F center. Electrons occupies the one of the interstitial side, and at the same time, at the adjacent side, at its adjacent side, zinc ions are also occupies. So that in this case, well noted, zinc ion oxide, so that the zinc ion increases. So hence, it is comes under metal excess defect. So therefore, option 2 is the right option. It is just like sodium chloride vapors are heated in the atmosphere of sodium vapors. So sodium chloride crystal is heated in the atmosphere of sodium vapors. Or potassium chloride crystals are heated in the presence of vapors of potassium. So adhe tara illi kuda when zinc oxide is heated, the interstitial site it is trapped by electrons, so that it acquires color. Trapping of electrons at the interstitial site, it acquires yellow color. Is it clear? In this case, in the adjacent side of the interstitial site occupied by an electron, zinc ions are also occupies. So that in the crystal structure, content of zinc increases. Therefore, it is called metal excess defect. Hence, it is called metal excess defect. Hence, your option 2 is the right option. Next question number 12. Which is the incorrect statement? FeO 0.98 has a non-stoichiometric metal deficiency defect. That is the right statement. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿಲಿ ಫೆರಸ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಫೆರಿಕ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ FeO 0.98 ಅಂದರೆ ಫೆರಿಕ್ ಅಯಾನ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎನಿ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಜಮಿಟ್ರಿ, ನಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾಯ್ಕಿಯೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಎ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಡೆಫಿಷಿಯನ್ಸಿ ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ in case of some Fe+2 ions are replaced by Fe+3 ions, that is metal deficiency defect. That is right. Density decreases in case of crystal with the Schottky defect. So what is meant by Schottky defect? Missing of equal number of cations and anions from their respective lattice positions, as a result of which in the metallic crystal the vacant space increases. That is why density decreases. Second option is right. The third option, sodium chloride is insulator, solid sodium chloride anta kodidare, that is right. It does not conduct electricity. Silicon is semiconductor, that is also right. Silver is a conductor, so it is a very good conductor. So their ionization enthalpy is low, so it shows the highest electrical conductivity is shown by silver, that is also correct. Quartz is piezoelectric crystal. So what is meant by piezoelectric crystal? So certain substances, so whenever a stress is applied on such substances, it acquires an electricity. So electricity is produced by applying mechanical stress on polar crystals. That property is piezoelectrical property. That is also correct statement. So fourth one, Frenkel defect is favored in those ionic compounds in which size of cation and anions are almost equal. That is not possible. The Schottky defect is favored, not the Frenkel defect. This is the incorrect statement. So therefore, for the question number 12, fourth option is the incorrect option. That is your answer. Is it clear? Next question number 13. Question number 13. Which type of semiconductor is obtained on mixing the arsenic into the silicon? Silicon semiconductor, 14th group element, arsenic 15th group element, the valency is 5. So addition of pentavalent impurity to the semiconductors, so to enhance their electrical properties, that is comes under N-type semiconductor. So N-type semiconductor. So for the question number 13, first option is the right option. So ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು N-type ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಏನು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ, ಸೊ ಟು ಎನ್ಹಾನ್ಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಏನು ಪೆಂಟಾವ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ 15th ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಆರ್ಸೆನಿಕ್ 15th ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್, ಪೆಂಟಾವ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 5 ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಸೊ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ 14th ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4 ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಟು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್. So that is why by the addition of pentavalent impurity to the semiconductor to enhance their electrical property, that is called the N-type semiconductor. So therefore, for the question number 13, option 1 is the right option. Next question number 14. Question number 14. So look at the diagrams given in this question. Which of the following arrangement shows the schematic alignment of magnetic moments of anti-ferromagnetic substances? First one. So in the first arrangement, all the electrons are in the same spin. They are ferromagnetic substances. All alignments ಏನಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಇದೆ. So that is why that is comes under ferromagnetic. In the second option, here also all the domains that remain same. All the electrons are in anti-parallel spin. All spinning electrons ಒಂದೇ ಇದೆ. That is also comes under ferromagnetic. Then in the third option, so 4 electrons are in parallel spin and 2 electrons are in anti-parallel. That is why there may be an unequal number of domains. Hence, third one is ferrimagnetic. Then fourth one. So in case of fourth option, so So equal number of electrons in parallel and anti-parallel spin. ನೋಡಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ಇನ್ನು ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 3 ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಕ್ಲಾಕ್ ವೈಸ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಫೆರ್ರೋ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್. ಹೆನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 14, ಸೊ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಸ್ಪಿನ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಂಟಿ ಫೆರ್ರೋ ಮ್ಯಾಗ್ನೆಟಿಕ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 15. Question number 15. Assertion: electrical conductivity of semiconductors increases with increase in temperature. That is the right option. Reason: with increase in temperature, large number of electrons from the valence band can jumps into the conduction band. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ರೆ, ಇದು ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ನೀವು ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಂಪ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಬೈ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸರ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ and reason is the correct explanation for the given assertion. So assertion and reasons are true. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. ನೋಡಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೆಮಿಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ? ನಾವು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಂಪ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಜಂಪ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಕೆಲವು ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಓವರ್ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟು ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಸೆಮಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ದ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಜಂಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಡ್, ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸೆಮಿ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ increases. So that is why option 1 is the right option for question number 15. Is clear? Next question number 16. Question number 16. Identify the correct order of solubility in aqueous medium. Solubility ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಕ್ಯುಪ್ರಿಕ್ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಿಂಕ್ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಇದೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, ಕ್ಯುಪ್ರಿಕ್ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಿಂಕ್ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸೋಡಿಯಂ ಸಲ್ಫೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ alkali metal ionic compound. So if an alkali metal which can form an ionic compounds, they are highly ionic and they are highly soluble. So such compounds are highly soluble. So that is why sodium sulfide is most soluble. Sodium sulfide is most soluble. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ಐದರ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು zinc sulfide ZnS has higher KSP value, higher solubility product value than cupric sulfide, than KSP of cupric sulfide. So we know that KSP is equal to, now zinc sulfide al tagondre molar concentration of Zn+2 ion and S-2 ion. So if it gets a precipitation in case of zinc sulfide, sulfide ion needs more concentrations. Not more number of sulfide ions need to precipitate zinc sulfide. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ more number of ions ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ solubility ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ zinc sulfide ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. So that is why higher the KSP, higher is its solubility. Next one is zinc sulfide. Then least sulfide is, the solubility is copper. Hence, fourth option is the right option for question number 16. Is clear? So fourth option is the right option. Next question number 17. Mixture that forms maximum boiling azeotrope. Azeotropic mixtures shown by non-ideal solutions. Non-ideal solutions forms both minimum boiling azeotropes as well as maximum boiling azeotropes. Non-ideal solutions ಯಾವ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. Option 1 non-ideal solution, option 2 non-ideal, option 3 that is also non-ideal, so option 4 is an ideal solution. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 3 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಐಸಿಯೋಟ್ರೋಪ್, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇಂಟರ್ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿ. ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವೆರಡರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇಂಟರ್ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟರ್. ವಾಟರ್ಗೂ ಮತ್ತು ಆಸಿಡ್ಗೂ ಅಫಿನಿಟಿ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೈಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್. So water and nitric acid. So this shows negative deviation from Raoult's law. Negative deviation from Raoult's law means this is a non-ideal solutions with greater negative deviation. Greater negative deviation. That is possible only when its vapor pressure should be least. ನೋಡಿ, ವೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೈಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವೇಪರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ವೇಪರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋರ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಟು ವೇಪರೈಸ್ ಸಚ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ದೇ ಶೋಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ Raoult's law. Hence, for the question number 17, first option is the right option. Water and nitric acid, they shows greater negative deviation from an ideal behavior, ideal solutions, non-ideal solutions. Ideal solutionಗಿಂತ ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇದೆ non-ideal solution. Next, question number 18. At 100 degrees centigrade, vapor pressure of a solution of 6.5 gram of a solute in 100 gram of water is 732 millimeter of mercury. If Kb is 0.52, the boiling point of this solution will be. ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ. At 100 degree centigrade, vapor pressure of solution of 6.5 gram of solute, mass of solute is given. In 100 gram of water, mass of solvent is given. That vapor pressure is 732, that is the vapor pressure of solution. Then the boiling point of solution will be. But generally we know that, so what is the boiling point of water? 100 degrees centigrade. By the addition of non-volatile solute, boiling point increases. Is clear? ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್, ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಎರಡು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So boiling point of solution is always greater than that of the boiling point of pure solvent. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ 4 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 100 ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನು 3 ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 100 ಮತ್ತು ಲೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ 100 ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಏನು ನೋಡೋದ ಬೇಡ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪಿ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಪಿ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಪಿ ಬೈ ಪಿ ನಾಟ್ is equal to N2 by N1. ಇದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಟ್. Since the solution is very dilute, number of moles of solute and solvent is taken as the number of moles of solvent. Is clear? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ನನಗಿಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಬೇಕು. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? 6.5 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ N2 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ N2? ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ N2? ಸೊ N2 is equal to N1 into P naught minus P divided by P naught. ಬರಿಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? N1 ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೇನೆ ಅಂದರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ N1 into this value. What is the value of N1? Number of moles of solvent. Number of moles of solvent is nothing but mass of solvent by molecular mass of solvent. Solvent is water, ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, 100 gram of water. N1 is 100 divided by 18. This is the number of moles of solvent. mass by molecular mass, into P naught is vapor pressure of pure solvent. Vapor pressure of pure solvent. What is the vapor pressure of solution given? 732. So ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ವೇಪರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರಬೇಕು? 1 atmosphere ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 760 minus 732 divided by 760. Then so N2 is equal to 760 minus 730 and 30 is 28 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So 100 into 28 divided by 18 into 760. So 280 divided by 28 into 10 means 280 divided by 76 into 18. 76 approximately ಇದು 20 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 75 into 10 1500 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. It's 1400 nearly approximate value. So 28 by 140 ಆಯಿತು. So 28 by 14 means 2. 2 into 10 power minus 1 means 0.2. ನೋಡಿ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ N2 is 0.2. This is value of N2, number of moles of solute. Then we know that delta TB is equal to Kb into M. Delta TB is equal to Kb into M. So Kb value is given. Kb is 0.52 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಂಟು ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. 2.2 moles present in 100 gram of water. Molality means in 1000 gram of water how many number of moles are there? 2 moles ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Or in other words, molality is nothing but number of moles present in 1 kg of solvent. Number of moles is 0.2 into 1 kg ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1000 divided by 100. So 100 10 times. 10 into 0.2 means 2 ಆಯಿತು. 2 into 0.52 means 1.04. 1.04. Is clear? 1.04. Then this is so 0.4. 0.5 into 2 means 1 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So 0.52 into 0.2 means 1.04. Then delta TB is equal to TB minus TB naught formula. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ what is the ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಅವರು? ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಈಸ್ T ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ. T ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ. So TB is equal to, therefore TB is equal to TB naught plus delta TB. So TB naught plus delta TB. So TB naught is 100 plus 1.04. It is equal to 101.4 degree centigrade. 101.4 degree. Nearest value 101. So your answer is, for the question number 18, answer is 101. So option 2 is the right option. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಭಾಳ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ. ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ದಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್. ಸೊ this can be calculated by using the Raoult's law of relative lowering of vapor pressure. P naught minus P by P naught is equal to N2 by N1. So we have to calculate the value of N2. So N2 is the number of moles of solute. So here N1 is the number of moles of solvent. Number of moles of solvent means mass by molecular mass. Mass of water is 100, molecular mass of water is 18. So this is the number of moles of solvent. Then so P naught minus P by P naught. P naught is vapor pressure of pure solvent, that is 760, 1 atmosphere pressure, 760 millimeter of mercury. This is vapor pressure of solution. So divided by 760. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ N2 ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 0.2 ಮೋಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 2 ಆಗುತ್ತಂತ. 2 into 0.5 ಅಂದರೆ 1. 0.52 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. 2 into 0.5 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ. ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿ 0.2 ಮೋಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ 100 ಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಮೊಲಾಲಿಟಿ ಡೆಫಿನೇಷನ್ ಏನು? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಸೊ 0.2 mole in 100 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಆದರೆ 1000 ಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ 1 kg ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ. 100 ಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ 0.2 ಇದ್ರೆ 1000 ಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ 10 ಟೈಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ 2 moles. ನೋಡಿ ಅದೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. 1000/100 ಅಂದರೆ 10 ಆಯ್ತು. 10 into 0.2 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಎಮ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 2 ಬರಿಬೋದು. 2 into 0.52 means 0.5 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1, approximately 1. So let delta TB, so TB naught is, this is the boiling point of pure solvent, water ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ 100 degree, 100 plus this value, ಯಾವುದು ಸೊ 1.04 ಇದೆ, ಅದು 0.1, ಸೊ 1, 100 plus 1 ಅಂದರೆ 101, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 101.4 ಇದೆ, ಸೊ ನಿಯರೆಸ್ಟ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ 101. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 19. Question number 19. If molality of dilute solution is doubled, the value of molar depression constant is. So we know that in general, so Kb and Kf, Kb is the molar elevation constant, Kf is the molar depression constant. So it is the elevation boiling point when 1 mole of solute is dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. Is clear? Elevation boiling point when 1 mole of solute is dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. So Kf is the depression freezing point when 1 mole of solute is dissolved in 1 kg of solvent. But Kb and Kf values, it depends only on the nature of solvents. So these two values depends only on nature of solvent, not on the molality. ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ ಮೊಲ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಇವು ನೇಚರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಲ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಮೊಲ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಡಬಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 50% ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ KF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ನೋ ಚೇಂಜ್, ಅನ್ಚೇಂಜ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ, ಸೊ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. KF and KB values, it depends only on the nature of solvents but not on the molality or molarity. Molality ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 20. Question number 20. A 5 molar solution of sulfuric acid is diluted from 1 liter to a volume of 10 liter. Normality of solution will be. ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನೋಡಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. For the question number 20, 5 molar solution. So normality is equal to basicity multiplied by molarity. So for sulfuric acid, basicity is 2, molarity 5, it is equal to 10 normal solution. So therefore 5 molar H2SO4 is equal to 10 normal H2SO4. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿ. ಈಗ 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸಲ್ಫ್ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಇದೆ H2SO4, ಇದನ್ನ 1 ಲೀಟರ್ನ, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡೈಲ್ಯೂಟೆಡ್ ಟು 10 ಲೀಟರ್, ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಟು 10 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ಟು 10 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ 10 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು 1 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 1 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್, ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ನೋಡಿ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಗಿವನ್? ಸೊ N1 is equal to 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್, V1 is equal to 1 liter. So N2 is how much? V2 is equal to 10 liter. ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸೊ N1 V1 is equal to N2 V2. So therefore N2 is equal to N1 V1 by V2. So N1 is 10 normal into V1 is 1 liter divided by V2. So final volume of the solution is 10 liter. It is equal to 1. ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಬೈ ನೀವು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ ಅಥವಾ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. So this is the very important formula. So normality is equal to basicity for acids basicity multiplied by molarity. Basis ಆದರೆ normality is equal to acidity multiplied by molarity. Since sulfuric acid is dibasic, so basicity 2 into molarity 5 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವಾಗ 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ 1 ಲೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು 10 ಲೀಟರ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 9 ಲೀಟರ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು 1 ಲೀಟರ್ದು 10 ಲೀಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಟು 10 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. 10 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಟು 10 ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು 1 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ನೇರ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಇದೇ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 20ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 21. Which of the following solution is acidic in nature? Following of solution is acidic in nature. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಜನರಲ್ ಹಿಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸೊ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡ್ರಿ. If normality into volume of acid it is greater than the normality into volume of base, then the solution becomes acidic. So then the solution becomes acidic. ನೋಡಿ ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಇಂಟು ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಸಿಡ್, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೊಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲದ 0.1 ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಇದೆ. 0.1 ಮೋಲಾರ್ H2SO4 ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು 0.2 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ H2SO4. ಯಾಕಂತ ನೋಡಿ ಮೊಲಾರಿಟಿ 0.1 ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0.1 ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಇದೆ, 0.2 ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಇದೆ, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ 20 ml of 0.1 molar sulfuric acid, 0.1 molar is 0.2 normal, 20 into 0.2 means 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಸಲ್ಲಿ 20 ml of 0.3 molar NaOH. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ sodium hydroxide, so for NaOH, since it is a mono acidic base, so normality is equal to molarity. ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ, ಆಸಿಡಿಟಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೊಲಾರಿಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ನಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ. ಅದರ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 20 into 0.2 ಮೀನ್ಸ್ 4 ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 20 into 0.2 is equal to 4, which is greater than, sorry, so 20 into 0.2 means 4, that is right. Then 20 into 0.3, so which is less than 20 into 0.3, 0.3, it is equal to 6. Andre the solution is basic. First option basic. Second option 10 into 0.2, so what is second option? 10 into 0.2 means 2. Then 20 into 0.2 means 4. This is also basic. It is also basic. Then in the third option, 10 into 0.2 means 2. Then 10 into 0.1, 10 into 0.1 means 1. So therefore it is acidic. This is acidic solution. Hence third option is the right option. Then in the fourth option, 20 into 0.2 4, 40 into 0.1 is 4. So fourth one is neutral. So fourth one is, so 20 into 0.2 means 4 is equal to 4. It is, so these are the values of normality into volume of acid. This is the normality into volume of base. Therefore it is neutral solution. So that is why for the question number 27, third option is the right option. So this is very, very important. ಇದನ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು. If normality into volume of acid is greater than the normality into volume of base, then the solution becomes acidic. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ normality is equal to n into molarity. So molarity ಅನ್ನು normality ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Next question number 22. Question number 22. Two bottles A and B contains 2 molar and 2 molal aqueous solutions of sulfuric acid respectively. Question number 22. So 2 bottles, so bottle A and another one is bottle B. A and B. So bottle A, bottle B. So A is 2 molar H2SO4, and here 2 molal H2SO4. molarity ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಕೊಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 2 molar sulfuric acid means 2 moles in 1 liter solution. So here 2 moles in 1 kg water. 2 mole in 1 kg water. Done. So here 2 moles means, so sulfuric acid molecular mass is 98. 98 into 2. 98 into 2. 196 gram. 196 gram sulfuric acid in 1 liter solution, that is 1000 cc solution. But in this case 196 gram H2SO4 in 1000 gram water. So therefore solution, volume of solution, so volume of solution increases. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1000 gram water, 1 gram is 1 cc. Agar 1000 ml water ಅಲ್ಲಿ 196 gram sulfuric acid ಇದೆ. So that the volume of solution increases, therefore concentration decreases. Concentration decreases. Hence the answer is 2 molar solution has a higher concentration, or A is more concentrated than B ಅಂತ. A is more concentrated than B. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1000 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು 1000 ml ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಡ್ರಿ. ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಇಸ್ 1 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಪರ್ cc. 1000 ml ಅಲ್ಲಿ 196 ಗ್ರಾಮ್, 1000 ml ವಾಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 196 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹಾಕಿದರೆ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್, ದೇರ್ಫೋರ್ ದಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಸೊ ಆ ಥರ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಟಲ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ 1000 cc ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 196 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ concentration, 2 molar concentration is greater than that of the 2 molar concentration. Hence for the question number 22, first option is the right option. A is more concentrated than B. Next question number 23. Question number 23. Henry's law constant for aqueous solution of carbon monoxide, oxygen, CO2 and acetylene gases are respectively at 25 degrees centigrade as. So Henry's law constant values are given. Henry's law constant values are given. So we know that the solubility and Henry's law constant, they are inversely varies. Higher the KH, lower will be the solubility. So for question number 23, hint is higher KH, higher the KH value, lower is the solubility, solubility. So the gaseous substance with the highest KH value is least soluble. Highest KH is 58 into 10 power 3. CO KH value ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ. So CO 58 into 10 to the power of 3. Then O2 is 48 into 10 to the power of 3. Then CO2 is 1.61 into 1.61 into 10 to the power of 3. Then finally acetylene C2H2. So C2H2, its KH value is 1.34 into 10 to the power of 3. So this value least KH means most soluble. lower the KH, higher will be the solubility. ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? Solubility of gases decreases in the order. ಅಂದ್ರೆ highest value ಯಾವುದು? Acetylene. So in the option 3, highest value acetylene ಇದೆ. That is the right option. ನೋಡಿ, third option ಅಲ್ಲಿ highest value acetylene ಇದೆ. Least value carbon monoxide, because so carbon monoxide has got a higher value of KH. So this is least soluble. So our option 3 ನಲ್ಲಿ least soluble carbon monoxide ಇದೆ, most soluble acetylene ಇದೆ. That is why for the question number 23, third option is the right option. Lower the KH, higher will be the solubility. Next question number 24. Question number 24. Molar solubility of helium, nitrogen and oxygen are plotted against partial pressure of gas, constant temperature. Henry's law constant for the gases will lie in the following sequence. So look at the given graph. Solubility versus partial pressure. So partial pressure versus solubility. So oxygen, then nitrogen into and helium. So at the same partial pressure, at the fixed partial pressure, solubility of oxygen is high. So this is most soluble. Helium is least soluble. Least soluble means highest KH. Most soluble means least KH. ನಿಮಗೆ KH value ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. Oxygen is highly soluble than nitrogen than helium. So ಈ ಗ್ರಾಫನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, oxygen is more soluble than nitrogen than helium. So if oxygen is more soluble, that is positive. So ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ solubility ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂದರೆ their KH value is least. So least KH value ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 2 ನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. Least KH value option 2. So therefore option 2 is the right option. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ highest so least soluble helium ಇದೆ, highest KH ಇದೆ. highest KH ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದೇನ ಹೆನ್ರೀಸ್ ಲಾ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹೆನ್ರೀಸ್ ಲಾ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ highest value helium, least value of KH is for oxygen. Therefore second option is the right option. Next, question number 25. Question number 25. Question number 25. Vapor pressures of ethanol and methanol are 42 millimeter and 88.5 millimeter of mercury respectively. An ideal solution is formed at the same temperature by mixing 46 gram of ethanol with 16 gram of methanol. The mole fraction of methanol in the vapor phase is. So methanol and ethanol. ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ question number 25. So A is ethanol. So molecular mass is equal to 46. C2H5OH. 24 plus 6, 30 plus 16, 46. Then B is methanol. CH3OH. So molecular mass is equal to 12 plus 4, 16, 16 plus 16, 32. So molecular mass is 32. ಇಲ್ಲಿ very important ನಾಪಟ್ಕೊಂಡು. So these can form an ideal solution. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿರೋದೇನೋ ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಥನಾಲ್ ಇನ್ ವೇಪರ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಥನಾಲಿನ ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So we have to calculate the mole fraction of B. Is clear? ಸೊ ಐಡಿಯಲ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಸೊ P total vapor pressure is equal to the sum of the pressures of both A and B, PA and PB. ನೋಡಿ, vapor pressure of the component in solution is PA, vapor pressure of the component P in solution is PB. This is equal to PA is nothing but PA naught into XA plus PB naught into XB. PB naught into XB. Then it is equal to PA naught. PA means ethanol. Is clear? So the vapor pressure of ethanol is 42. So PA naught is 42. So and also we know that. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ಮ್ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Mole fraction is equal to number of moles by total number of moles. So number of moles of A is equal to, A means ethanol. So 46 gram of ethanol is given. 46 by 46 is equal to 1. Number of moles of B methanol is 16 gram. 16 divided by 32 mass by molecular mass, it is equal to 0.5. So N total number of moles is equal to 1 plus 0.5. It is equal to 1.5. So here PA naught is 42. So 42 into XA means mole fraction of A. Number of moles of A by total number of moles. Number of moles of A is 1 divided by 1.5 plus PB naught, vapor pressure of methanol is. So vapor pressure of methanol is 88.5. So 88.5 into XB. Number of moles of B is 0.5, 0.5 divided by 1.5. Is clear? Then it is equal to. So this is nothing but 42 into. So this is 1.5 means 3 by 2. 3 by 2 means so 2 by 3. 2 by 3 plus so 0.5 3 times. So 88.5 by 3. This is equal to. So 42 into 2 means 84. 84 by 3 plus 88.5 by 3. This is equal to 28 plus. So here, so 3 2 times 6. 29.5 times. 29.5 times. It is equal to 57.5. 57.5. This is the P total pressure. Then the value of PB is 29.5. So we know that the mole fraction of methanol in vapor phase is. So PB is equal to YB into P total. P total. Note, vapor pressure of a component is equal to mole fraction into total pressure formula. Mole fraction into total pressure. So mole fraction YB is equal to PB divided by P total. P total. This is equal to PB is 29.5. So 29.5 divided by P total. So total vapor pressure is 57.5. 57.5. So answer is 0.467, 0.502, 0.513, 0.556 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈಗ 57.5 ಅನ್ನ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ 29.5 ಬರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಈಸ್ 0.513. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಸೊ 0.513. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 3 ಇಸ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 25. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎ ಎಥೆನಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಳ್ರಿ, ಬಿ ಮೆಥೆನಾಲ್. ಸೊ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಥೆನಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ 46 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಗಿವನ್, divided by molecular mass, it is equal to 1. Then number of moles of B is, so number of moles is mass of methanol is 16 gram divided by molecular mass is 32. 16 by 32 means 0.5. Total number of moles Na plus Nb 1 plus 0.5, it is equal to 1.5. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋಲ್ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕು. So these two solutions forms an ideal solution. Ideal solution in case of an ideal solution. So total vapor pressure is equal to the sum of the vapor pressures of both the components. That is why P total is equal to PA plus PB. So according to Raoult's law, so PA, the vapor pressure of component in a solution is equal to the product of mole fraction of that component and the vapor pressure of pure component. So according to the formula, instead of P I can write so PA naught into XA, PB naught into XB. So PA naught is given 42, XA mole fraction of A. Mole fraction of A means number of moles of A, number of moles of A is 1 divided by total number of moles 1.5. Similarly, so vapor pressure of the pure component B, methanol is 88.5. So into, so number of moles of B 0.5 by total number of moles 1.5. So on simplification we get 57.5 is the total vapor pressure exerted by both liquids in a mixture. Then, so PA is 28, PB is 27.5. So we know that vapor pressure is equal to mole fraction to total pressure. So ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ mole fraction ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ methanol. So YB is equal to PB by P total. Is clear? So for the question number 25, so third option is the right option. Lengthy problems ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. Next. So question number 26. Question number 26. The vapor pressure of pure liquid A is 40 millimeter. A is a solvent. Nodale question number 26. 26. A is solvent. Solvent. So vapor pressure of pure solvent P naught is given, that is 40 millimeter of mercury at 310 Kelvin. The vapor pressure of this liquid in a solution with liquid B is 32. So B is a solute. B is solute. Then P, this is the vapor pressure of solution, is 32. It is equal to 32. P value 32. Then mole fraction of A in the solution, if it obeys Raoult's law. No, mole fraction of solution, if it obeys Raoult's law. So P naught minus P by P naught, it is equal to mole fraction of solute. Solute is B. Mole fraction of solute. Then P naught is 40 minus P is 32 divided by 40, it is equal to XB. Then XB is equal to, so 8 divided by 40, it is equal to, so 0.2. So 1 by 5 is 0.2. XB mole fraction of solute is 0.2. Then mole fraction of solvent is, mole fraction of solvent A, XA plus XB is equal to 1. Sum of the mole fraction of compounds in any solution is equal to 1. Then, so XA is equal to 1 minus XB, it is equal to 1 minus 0.2, it is equal to 0.8. So 0.8 is your answer. So answer for question number 26. So first option is the right option. Is clear? Next question number 27. Question number 27. Mass of non-volatile solute of molar mass 40 gram per mole, that should be dissolved in 114 gram of octane to lower its vapor pressure by 20%. So mass of non-volatile solute, mass of solute can be calculated. Mass of solute can be calculated by using the concept of vapor pressures, that is by Raoult's law of relative lowering of vapor pressure. So question number 27. So P naught minus P divided by P naught is equal to, so N2 by N1 means W2 by M2 into M1 by W1. So W2 is the mass of solute, this is to be calculated. So W2 is equal to, so what is the value of P naught? So P naught is, P naught minus P, this is the lowering in vapor pressure. So lowering in vapor pressure is 20. Now it's vapor pressure by 20. So 114 gram of, it should be dissolved in 114 gram of octane to lower its vapor pressure by 20%. ಅಂದರೆ 20% ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 20% ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೊ 20 divided by 100, lowering in vapor pressure 20 divided by P naught is 100. So 100 minus 20, sorry 100 minus lowering in vapor pressure, it is 20 by 100, it is equal to, so W2 is to be calculated, M2 is the molecular mass of solute, that is given 40, so 40 into molecular mass of solvent is octane, so molecular mass of octane C8H18, so molecular mass is equal to, it is also equal to 142. So 142 by 142 cancel each other. So hence W2 is equal to, so 40 into 20 divided by 100, it is equal to 8. So 8 is your answer. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ 1 ಏನಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ 8 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆನ್ಸರ್ 8 ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ನಾಟ್ 10, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾನ್ ವೋಲಟೈಲ್ ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೋಲಾರ್ ಮಾಸ್ 40 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ per mole that should be dissolved in 114 gram of octane to lower its vapor pressure by 20%. Lower its vapor pressure by 20%. So vapor pressure, and that is the lowering in vapor pressure. Lowering in vapor pressure is 20. Is clear? Lowering in vapor pressure is 20. 20 by 100, it is equal to, no called. So answer is 8, not 10. Is clear? So first option, so option 1 ಏನಿದೆ, so not 10, so it is equal to, so it is 8. ಇದನ್ನ ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ. Next, question number 28. For non-electrolyte solution, Vanta factor is equal to, non-electrolyte, they cannot be ionized. So for non-electrolytic solutions, Vanta factor value is always 1. For electrolytes, Vanta factor is greater than 1. For non-electrolytes, Vanta factor is always 1. So that is why for the question number 28, option 2 is the right option. Second option. So for non-electrolytes that do not undergo dissociation, so therefore I value is equal to 1. Is clear? Next question number 29. Elevation in boiling point expected for 0.3 molal aluminum sulfate solution will be how many times compared with the elevation boiling point of 0.1 molal sodium sulfate solution. So for question number 29, so I value, I for aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 thrice is equal to 5. So I value for sodium sulfate is equal to 3. So we know that delta TB, so for aluminum sulfate Al2SO4 thrice divided by delta TB for sodium sulfate Na2SO4, it is equal to, delta TB means I into Kb into molality. So this is for aluminum sulfate. So for Al2SO4 thrice, then I into Kb into molality, this is for Na2SO4, and it is equal to, I value for aluminum sulfate is 5 into Kb into molality is given. So molality of aluminum sulfate is 0.3 divided by, I value for sodium sulfate is 3 into Kb into molality is 0.1. Since the solvent that remains same, therefore Kb value cancel each other. Then 0.3, 3 into 0.1 means 0.3, 0.3 cancel each other, it is equal to 5. So 5 is your answer. So for the question number 29, so second option is the right option. Next, question number 30. 5% solution of cane sugar is isotonic with 1% solution of substance X. Molecular weight of X is molecular mass of X. So for isotonic solutions, so what are isotonic solutions? Solutions which exerts the same osmotic pressure. Isotonic solution means same osmotic pressure. Same osmotic pressure means osmotic pressure of sugar which is equal to the osmotic pressure of the substance X. Since the osmotic pressure is a colligative property, it depends on the number of non-volatile solid particles. Since osmotic pressure remains same, therefore the number of moles of both the substance should be equal. Number of moles of sugar and number of moles of X. The number of moles is equal to mass by molecular mass. What is the mass of substance given? 5. So 5 divided by, so molecular mass is 342. It is equal to number of moles of X, mass of substance 1%, 1 divided by, so molecular mass not known, it is to be calculated. Hence M is equal to 342 divided by 5. It is equal to 6 times 30, 68.4. 68.4 is your answer. So that is third option is the right option. 68.4. In osmotic pressure, same osmotic pressure means both the solutions should contain same number of particles. Same number of particles ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ sugar non-electrolyte, X ಕೂಡ non-electrolyte ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗಿದ್ದಾಗ number of moles that remains same. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Is clear? ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಂಬರ್ 31 ಇಂದ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಇಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಇನ್ ದಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.